If you believe you can, then you're halfway there. Hello, it's Tuesday and this is Joy News Interactive. My name is Maps for short, but you can call me Mapita CB. To get in touch on Facebook and Twitter, we are Joy News on TV. Remember, we're also live on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We're also coming to you live from the Ghana Post GPS digital address GA093341 at Kokomemle in Accra. First on the bill is a discussion on Libya. It appears the talk about the country won't end anytime soon. I'm sure by now you know how people have been seemingly sold into slavery in that country. Some 127 Ghanaians have been brought back home. We have all been wondering what the African Union, the mother body for the African states, is doing about this matter, because its silence is deafening. While lawyer Ace Ankuma has called for the suspension of the celebration of the African Union holiday until the AU, which stands up and does something about the unfortunate what's happening in Libya. So what's your view on this? We take a comment from Felix, who says, I support this idea. Evans Yabwa says, good idea. And Mary Akosa says, I'm in full support. Let's take more comments from Yenu. Says, they claim our people were rescued. Fine, what happens to the perpetrators of that slavery act? Mr. Lawyer, God bless you for your vision and truth you shared. Why are those acts not happening in Russia? We take another comment from Ima, who says, yes, I agree. And Peterson, who says, I support. And Anima Boachi, who says, exactly. We'll take another comment from Francis Emu, who says, stop the AU holidays, it's not enough. All member states should cut links with Libya. I 100% disagree with him. This is Jeremiah, who says, I 100% disagree with him. What then will keep reminding us that AU exists and keep it on its toes in the performance of its duties? AU's holiday has its own significance as a regional body. We should rather, as a society and individuals, play our roles effectively by changing our bad attitudes towards government policies and help build our continent to fit our demands. Let's see, we got one comment from Jeremiah. Let's see if we can get that reply on his comment. Okay, in the meantime, we can take Fifi Badu, who says there's nothing good about the AU. Mohammed's reply says, nice comment, dear. Did AU ask them to go to Libya? Let's see if we can get more comments about the AU and what they're doing to help the situation in Libya. Let's see if we can get more comments. Abena says, I agree with you because there's no African unity. And Willie says, we Africans are content with what we're content with what we have. Agreed has overshadowed us. And Sakiri says he is right. So Sakiri agrees that with lawyer Ace Ankuma that he is right. And let's see if we can get more comments on. Let's see if we can get more comments. And Stefan says, now they're crying for Gaddafi. When Gaddafi needed their support, they turned their backs against him. Now see what is going on. Very soon, Zimbabwe will also experience the same. Mugabe has been uprooted like carrots, and none of them has a cough about it. African leaders. And Bimbon says, very right. And Louis Amour says, I think you are 100% right. How can our beloved continent members come together for celebration of such program when one country among us is practicing racism and killing other country members who happen to fall on that country's land? AU must act now and stop such cruelty to human life. We've got more comments, one from Don G. Asante, who says, I think he is right. What kind of continent is this? Libya must be shot down now. Moving along, Senior Minister Yao Asofo-Mafu has bemoaned the current horrible nature of Ghanaian League. He believes strongly that corruption is the prime reason that the League is in the current state. He was speaking at the launch of Anti-Corruption and Transparency Week on Monday.
people have talked a lot about corruption. And when we talk about corruption, people shift their attention specifically on politicians. And that shift itself has created a problem for this country. See, when you do not define the corruption to really put everybody in that catch, you are creating a problem for the country. I'll give you a good example. I've been Minister for Sports, and during my time, for the first time, Ghana qualified to play the World Cup. When I became Minister for Sports, one of the first group of people I met were officiating people for football matches. I invited all of them to my office because the league becomes important when people see fairness. You destroy the league of this country when people know that matches have been fixed. Corruption got so deep after 2010 into football playing in this country that Ghanaians no more even are interested in the local league. Are there any politicians there? And therefore, corruption in the officiating of soccer matches, Premier Division, has had a very negative effect on our football. To the extent that now when we have Black Star, out of the 18 people we put on the pitch, aside of the goalkeepers, there's hardly anybody picked from the local league. What does it tell you? It's certainly not the best way. We used to get about half of the Black Star from the Premier League. And we used to get most of them coming from Haas, Kotoko, Wise, Olympics. About 4 or 5 teams will give us almost Black Star. And we were very competitive, conquered Africa. These teams also conquered Africa in their own right. Now, how are our teams now faring? Those who win the league here in Ghana cannot even go through the first group knockout on the African continent.
Let's see what you guys have been saying on Facebook. First comment we're going to take is from Ni Latte, who says, corruption is when you create positions to fix your children and tell the rest of us to go home and die. Prince Banks replies and says, dummy, to Ni Latte's comment. And James Kwesi says, please go and read on corruption. You sound very hollow. And Paul Tutu says, okay, we won't read that. Ni Latte says, I'll let a harsh comment pass, but no insults. At Paul Tutu, if I may ask, what is more cancerous of the brain than gullibly following lies to vote someone into power only to create jobs for his sons, whilst denying you one? And Davis Barberson says, are his sons not Ghanaians? Are they not qualified for the positions? Does that mean corruption? If their dad is in high office, so they shouldn't work? Come again, Mr. Nilante, your assertion is very weak. Paul Tutu continues and he says his daughter got a position based on merit. I don't need that position. If you need it and you think you're more qualified than his daughter, please do well to apply at Nilate. And Abdul Abraham says, it is not being his sons being Ghanaians or not, but rather, he and his government telling Ghanaians there is no job in the public sector to provide graduates and job seekers, but quickly make a U-turn and create and fix his own kid's job. You think that is not corruption? And Nilate says, conflict of interest is corruption. The man said there's no opening in the public sector and yet manages to create one for his son. That's the issue. Let's see if we can take more comments on that. Andrew says, go back and tell the con man that he's worse than the word corruption itself. He's stealing, his families are stealing, and they are ripping off the taxpayers. Let's take a comment from Samuel, who says, Masa, the talking is too much. Do something better and stop talking. What country is this? In this country, our romantic economists are saying that it's growing, but meanwhile, it is stagnant. Gideon Emperor says, you to carry this message, go back to your president that some corrupt people are in his abode. Left and right, and his government. All right, we're going to take a comment from Haj Suleimana, who says, so there was exactly no evidence when they were accusing President Mahama and calling him all sorts of names. How could we be deceived into this mess? But thank God Ghanaians have started seeing all the lies peddled by the NPP whilst in position. President Mahama has been vindicated. Let's see, we've got 2 replies on Haj Suleiman's comment. Let's see if we can get those 2 replies. We've got Lawrence, who says, so you guys have mobilized yourself to disturb the good cause of Ghana. And Nelson says, nothing better to say, just shut your beak. The police say it will have a strong case enough to arraign the Lebanese alleged to have raped this Ghanaian house help at his home in Accra. Public Relations Officer at the Accra Regional Police Command, ASCP Efia Tenge, says the police could plead with the courts to remand him so we can do further investigations if by that time we have not been able to gather what we are looking for. Let's see if we can get your Facebook comments. So we're going to take a quick break. I'll read your comments on that matter after. You're back from the break. You're still watching Joy News Interactive. Remember, you can watch us on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. On Facebook and Twitter, we are Joy News on TV. So I promised to give you your comments on the Lebanese that has been alleged to have raped his Ghanaian house help at his home in Accra. Let's take a few of your comments where Bentel Prince says, why would they plead for what at all? Okay, I don't know much about investigations, but even in movies, they won't do that. They don't need victims' presence for any investigation. Even in reality, America won't do this. And Nasir Hassan says, well. And Isaac says, interesting. And Robert says, fine case. Now, this is my favorite part of Tuesday edition of Joy News Interactive, the traveling tips. If you tuned in last week, I gave you some packing and preparation tips. My personal favorite was packing light and knowing the baggage policy, because this is interactive and I care about you. So if you missed it, here are our travel tips from last week. So pack lightly. Now you're at your travel destination. How can you make it better? Let's see our travel tips this week. my personal favorite for this week is just talking to the people, knowing how the country is, how they work, different foods, different possibilities. You may not agree with them, but you know what? You'll learn a lot. Let's take some comments on Facebook about your best traveling tips. Flame says, be security conscious and do not display valuable items such as laptops and phones, as these things attract criminals. Boating says, pray at home before leaving to the station. Do not eat heavy foods in the car. You can take snacks. Mensa says, just play it safe. Who knows what will happen? Let's take more comments on that. Traveling tips. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says, may Allah guard and protect those who are traveling to their destination. And Bental Prince says, never throw any litter out of the car you're sitting in and outside because it promotes civilization. Let's see if we've got more comments on that. Traveling tips. Our last comment we're going to take is Asari Godford, who says, I need a visa to Canada or Australia, so I may have experience. Okay, that's traveling tip. All right, that's okay. Okay. It's December, it's festive season, so you must play it safe, be security conscious, like one of the gentlemen said, be security conscious and just be friendly. Always remember to smile. You don't have to know the person, but just smile. You never know, a smile can create many memories, and it's the start, and maybe the start of a wonderful and awesome friendship. Also, it's very good to try out some of their food. You never know, I mean, you might just like the food, you might just like the food, and even if you don't, just politely refuse and say, unfortunately, I'm not enjoying this food, or thank you very much, I really appreciate it. You know, this is Joy News Interactive. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144 on Facebook and Twitter. We are Joy News on TV. This has been Joy News Interactive, and we came to you live from the Ghana Post GPS digital address GA093341 at Kokomemle in Accra. From the Joy News Interactive team, enjoy your day.